Hey everyone, this is Arado and we're here to talk about the villain side of Romancing Saga 3 stage banner, featuring Byunei, Ludwig, and Maximus. So to the star of the banner, Byunei, she's a good single target and AoE farmer, and of course with Inherit from the first and third style, you would be able to improve her AoE, basically being able to spam AoE whenever, indefinitely. For hard content, she covers a lot of debuffing coverage, so she can do agility, dexterity, and intelligence. So one thing to note is the debuffing capability for intelligence is limited because of the LP cost. She can still continue um, to dex and agility debuff with skill number 2 or inherit from first or third style. And then later on, her debuffing capability can greatly improve her summer style, which is kind of a support slash healer style. So it would be good to have that in her kit. One thing to note about the buffer, at least with where JP is at, so we all know that whenever there is the debuff cleanse skill from the boss or enemy, that they would cleanse your debuff. It depends on the threshold that was set. So right now in JP, the way it works is debuffers would help in mitigating damage. So for example, the latest attack for Matcha and Marigan. So without int debuffer against the first round, which is Matcha, um, it's really hard to survive the attacks because she keeps on stacking intelligence, and you need to debuff her intelligence so that it's more manageable. And then the following turn, the turn starts with the debuff being cleansed. So that's how the buffers are gonna get changed. However, with the upcoming Spiral Corridor next week, I believe that we would still see the agility dodge strategy on the regular mobs stage, and then we might not see as much with the bosses every 10 floors with if GL decides to release all the way to 150 floor. Alright, next up with the two other villains, Ludwig and then later on Maximus. So for Ludwig, he is really good for AoE and single target farming. So if he is hitting the weak element for the enemy, then he would have a 60% attack passive if I'm not mistaken, if not more, because of the high weak tension side of the ability and also the high robust tension. So, and then he can partly work as a boss farmer because of skill number 2, which kind of roughly translates to an S damage in a way because of B and then C and then following up with a B skill. And then yeah, for hard content, he's just a DPS source, but a lot of his skills are affecting the party, so it might not be wise to bring him in hard content if possible. But again, if you don't have a choice, you can still use him and then try to work around the recoil damage that's being done to the party. And lastly, we have Maximus. So Maximus, the same as Ludwig, that he's a good AoE farmer. However, for single target farming, Maximus is only good for those 2-rounders because of Water Gun 7/7. And then the good part with Maximus is he may be able to help with, if you're going for a magic type of damage in farming, that he would be able to improve damage with the willpower debuff that he does every round start. That last point may not be as valuable, mainly because we have free volcano which does will debuff as well, albeit at a lower potency. And then later on with the hype banner for November Halloween with Halloween Narwhal's daughter, she does the same thing too. The good application to that would be, I believe it's in chapter 4 in Liam's story, if not chapter 5, where you are faced against bugs, and then there's a round where there is 50 or 25 resistance to insta kill, so you need to bring someone with like Maximus or Halloween Narwhal's daughter for Albert to be able to insta kill properly, and of course optimize the farming for that stage. And yeah, for hard content, similar to Ludwig, that he is a source of DPS, but for Maximus, he has some advantage over Ludwig, mainly because of Water Blast Plus, where it has a guard down effect and may improve the overall party's DPS overall. But yeah, that's the villain's banner. Byunei is the star. She can cover a lot of debuffing, limited with intelligence, but is still good with agility and dexterity debuff. And then Ludwig and Maximus are good farmers. It's kind of weird to have that recoil with willpower or with the HP damage, but you know, farming, you really don't care about those stuff. But in hard content, that's where, you know, you would see the effect and might not be able to utilize them well in that avenue. But yeah, think about it properly on whether a 1% banner is worth it, since you would most likely be aiming for Byunei. But if you're also aiming for Maximus and Ludwig for the farming side of what they can bring, then yeah, it's gonna be a 3% banner. And regardless of whether you get the on banner or off banner, as you know, off banner units are pretty solid too, that it may be worth it um to invest some jewels in it if you have anything to spare. I unfortunately went beyond my budget for the hero side, and I pitied and completed the banner, so I unfortunately cannot pull from this banner at all. I have no budget. But yeah, hopefully if you don't pull right now, Byunei might get reprinted in the future with some other units that you might not have, garnering to a 5% banner instead. That's about it with this banner. I hope you gain something out of it. And thank you for tuning in, and hope to hear from you again in the next video. Thank you so much.